Mike, this is a video of your July 9th, 2016 lesson. Just take a look at this swing. This is a good swing. I mean, it's basically a fundamentally sound swing. There are a couple refinements that you should consider making that'll make it easier. But I've looked at the swing, dozens of times, and there's nothing seriously wrong that will cause you bodily harm, cause you injury. The only exception would be that, and I'll show you in a bit, that you're coming down too steep and there's a tendency to stick a fork in the ground right behind the ball. And anytime you do that, it's going to result with a jar to the system. When we're over here on the grassy area working on your swing, remember you kind of took up turf. Well, that's because it was too steep and you just kind of jammed it in the ground. The mats are a little forgiving. Sometimes you can hit behind the ball and the club will glide through. But that's the only thing that would be causing you some stress with respect to your body. So, like I said during the lesson, more things right with the swing than wrong. You take it back, it's pretty much on plane. You get to this position here, and we can clean this up just a bit. And this is the first thing that I think that you need to refine. You look at Adam Scott. This top, whoops. So this little top position for Adam is a little bit different. He goes up, and see his back forearm. That's relatively vertical. And yours isn't. It's out here flying. Now, I think this is one thing you should change. So I'll give you a copy of this picture, the two of you. And I say print it out, put it on the mirror, and the best practice drill you can have is tape this to your mirror and look more like Scott than you. The main difference is this left arm. And see this, the club head? It's here. I'm going to draw it in blue. The shaft. That's about on plane. Now, being on plane is parallel to one of these yellow lines, and your shaft is not. Now, this creates a swing that is too vertical. See, they call it rerouting it. To get this top position, you have to reroute it so that it gets parallel to the yellow lines somewhere in the swing, but you don't. So you come in here, and this is too steep. Shortly after transition, the butt of the club should be pointed at the ball. Look at this, guys. So right here, the shaft is pointed at the ball. You're kind of doing a wood chop thing, because if you don't lay that shaft down, you're gonna hit a hellacious divot behind the ball. So you come in now your body goes, oh shit, this is too steep. you try to save it by lifting, flipping. Now watch, you have a good spine angle. Oh, by the way, your posture is really good up until this point, where it comes in here, your body goes, oh shit, it's too steep, so you lift and flip. Now watch you kind of stand up out of it. So that good spine angle is gone, and your butt comes away from the back wall. You're trying to save it and prevent injury from jamming the fork in the ground behind the ball. It's all started with, I think, this flying elbow and starting too steep. Now watch Adam Scott when he, let me get rid of some of these lines. Because his club is nearly on plane, watch it. It drops right in the slot. See this? Now he's swinging around like we had you with the baseball bat, kind of around your body and rotating it through. Now see, as he comes in through here, and he gets his lower body cleared out of the way, that right cheek is against the back wall, and he attacks it from the inside. So there's the club. Now with you, let's get some of these lines. You come down and see this? You're driving this right on the ground, unless you jump out of the way, which you have a tendency to do, just for survival. And because you're coming in steep, you really can't get that front hip out of the way, because you're steep. And see the club. See that white line, that blur? That's the club head. It's outside your hands. So if it's outside your hands and outside above the plane, it's going to be a pull shot. Now, if you clear that front hip, if you clear your front hip like Scott, you're going to pull it, hook it way right. So your body goes, that's not the shot I want. So you lift and flip and try to save it. Now see, your club head is coming along this blur. Now watch Scott. He's coming in. See, the club head, there's a club head right here. The club is behind his hands. So he's approaching from the inside. So he's rounded just like your baseball swing. So he's rounded. So he's swinging around his body. And then, because it's inside, he can clear that front hip like a bandit. Look at that move. Man. So this swing would be more of a shallow swing, and almost sweeping the ball off, as opposed to this little, you kind of have a chop action here. So how do we fix it? The first thing we do is get your top position better. Let's go back to this guy. So this is the number one detail. We want this, which you now have a picture of. We want that position, and then when you come down, we want you to push off your left foot, get your lower body activated, just like his, and attack it from the inside. But it's all predicated on this top position. See that? So those are the only things I think you need to work on. That's why the baseball swing is really helpful. You start by swinging it around, at chest high, and then you drop it down to a foot off the ground, and finally to on the ground. And that's more of a sweeping, a rotational swing instead of this a bit of a chop action. When it's rounded, it's easy to keep your one cheek on the back wall at all times. Now, just quickly, let's look at the other dimension. Let's see, let's go here. Now, I don't think you need to address this at this point. This is for future reference, but from this angle, this is a pretty good swing. I'll let it run. I mean, you got good action in there. You can't see that you're kind of cramped up there. You can see that you're cramped up on the follow through on the post impact position. You know, you kind of your front hip gets in the way, and you can't fire through. So you kind of hang on. This is characteristic of of the swing dating back to when we started like 10 years ago, is you haven't really released through. But you can't because that left hip's in the way. I mean, that right hip's in the way. And you kind of lift and here. And again, I say don't work on this at this moment. But, you know, this is for future reference. So let's see here. So watch this guy. So he comes in, you know. See, at this point he's got that lead arm ramrod straight. His hands are far away from his head. You can work on that a bit. And then when he comes through, see, he pushes off that back instep, push, and then get the knee chasing the back knee chasing the front knee. And when he gets to here, because that hip is out of the way, he gets to this spot. Bam! So the magic thing is get to here, where your back elbow is against your side, and then you snap it. And both arms are straight at this point. And if you remember, you had more of this look. So again, I don't want to distract you from a good top position and getting your lower body activated and attacking it more rotational. That's your mission. This is for later viewing, later refining, because if you continue to come down so steep, you can't possibly clear out the hip to get to this point.